Let's have a look at percentage increase as well as compound percentage increase. I'm sure you have heard this example of someone baking muffins and then selling them at a set price. So let's, for example, say that the cost of making one muffin comes to R5. If you would like to put a 50% markup on this, you will know that we say R5 multiplied by 100 plus 50 because it's 50% more. And then if I calculate that, I get a selling price, because remember, you always want to sell something for a little bit more so that you can make a profit. I will get a selling price of R7.50. Doing this the long way by working out 50% of R5, you will get R2.50, and adding it on will also give you R7.50. But this is just a slightly shorter way of working it out. If we want to do a 100% markup, I will add 100 on, so that it becomes 200 over 100, which means my price is just double, and now it will be R10. Sometimes, however, we do more than 1% increase, and this is the case for inflation. Here on the right, we have a graph showing the inflation rates for different years, all the way from 2009 to 2015. And this is specific, the bars are specific for the education sector. So let's say a specific school fees were R10,000 back in 2009. If the school wants to increase the school fees in accordance to the inflation rate, they will add on 10.5% for the next financial year. So just like we added on 50% and 100% in the previous one, we're going to add on 10.5% here. So doing it in one step. And if I work that out, the next year the school fees will be R11,050. So now the next year it's R11,050. And we see that the next inflation is only 9.2%. So for the next year, we're going to add on 9.2% over 100. And if we work that out, we will see that for the next school year, the school fees will be R12,066.60. Now be careful, you can't add these two percentages together and multiply it by 19.7%, because the 9.2% increase was on the 10.5% increase. So you have to work through all these steps. If you want to do it in a slightly shorter way, you don't have to get the answer in between. So let me just quickly show you the shorter method on the side. R10,000 multiplied by 110.5. You don't always have to say 100 plus 10.5. You can just do it like this. And for the next year, it's 109.2. Can you see that I'm doing the first year and the second year all in one step? And then I get my final answer of 12,066.60 straight away. If you had to do this for all the years shown in the graph above, you will have 7 little fractions that you multiply 10,000 by. Don't add them all together. This is the 1% increase as a percentage on the previous year and on the previous year and on the previous year. This might remind you of compound interest. Let's consider this example of annual compound interest. If Olivia invests R7,000 at 10% compound interest for a period of 2 years, and the interest is per annum, then we are going to increase it by 10%. I hope by now you're okay that I just write 110%. So this is for the first year. And on this, it increases with another 10% for the next year. So very similar to our previous example where we add 10%, get an answer, and then add 10% on again. This is just a slightly shorter way of working it out. And if we type this in on our calculator, we see that after a 2-year period, she has 8,470 Rand. You can also work it out for after the first year and then add 10% on. That's just a slightly longer method, but you will get to the same answer. Now let's do this process for compounded quarterly. In this example, you get 12% interest per annum, but they break it up into little quarters, and we get it for 1.5 years. So let's see, if it's 12% for the year, and there are 4 quarters in the year, then what percentage do you get each quarter? Well, 3%, because 3 and 3 and 3 and another 3 will get you 12. So it means for each quarterly investment period, you will get 3%. In 1.5 years, how many quarters do I have? Well, 6 of them, because in the first year, you have 4, and in the half a year, you have 2. Half year. So you will get 3% interest 6 times. And this is quite a lengthy process, but let's start. You invest 5,000 Rand, and now it's a 3% increase 6 times. So you're going to multiply by 103 over 100 6 times. We do this because every year, every quarter, the 3% interest is on the previous quarter's investment period. So this is your first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, fifth quarter, and sixth quarter. The answer to this will be 5,970 Rand, and remember to round your money to 2 decimal places, so that will be 26 cents.